Haha.
Hey,
Hi. Oh my
me?
God. What?
Okay, cool.
Um, so it's 10 o'clock in the morning or it's 10 o'clock at night?
10:50 at night.
Oh my God. You're like a trooper, thank you.
No, it's fine.
Huh? Oh, now I can't hear you.
Oh no.
Oh,
Can you
now
hear
I
me
can
now?
hear. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just getting situated. I was trying to I just bought some new lights to go, because I used to have the star lights behind me.
Yeah.
And I bought some lights that were like twinkle lights that actually have like, fake leaves on it. So it's a little bit more like, I don't know, organic or earthy or whatever. Just add a little pop of green in here. And I opened
Oh,
them up and I should have known. They just smell so bad. I'm like, I had to take them out of the booth because I was like, this is terrible. It's too small of a space for it to smell this bad. So like I had to take it out.
what does it smell like?
Uh like poop. It's
Oh no.
Oh my God. I was just like, yeah, I think I'm good.
Oh God.
So I'm gonna like maybe take them outside and like air them out in like a larger part of my house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, how are you?
Good.
Where are you?
Where are we? We are in Pamplona, Spain.
Awesome. That's why
Yeah.
you're in a different time zone. You're on location.
I'm on location,
You're super,
literally.
like
This is
literally.
a hotel room.
You're in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you.
No, I love being here.
Yeah, and so you guys are
Yeah.
traveling for the summertime and for family
Yeah.
excursions.
So, my son is he's taking a tennis class
Yeah,
and he popped on to say hi.
so cute. That's chaos.
Yeah. A summer camp. He's supposed to be asleep. See, the reason we're in Pamplona this week is because we're here to see the running of the bull. So
Oh,
the bulls are running
sweet.
tomorrow.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's so cool.
Today we went to the festival and we got home just a little while ago. So he's still trying to like
Wind down.
cool the yeah,
Yeah,
wind
yeah,
down.
yeah.
Um,
That's hard on
and
vacation when you're like, having so much fun.
it is. So, but yeah,
That's cool. That's
I'll
cool.
tell you all about the bull run tomorrow.
Yes, you'll have to share next time we're like podcasting. Take like a little clip. It would be fun for you to share that on like social media.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
definitely.
yeah, that would be super cool to like see the bulls running or whatever. Um so any other chaos? I mean, you guys are traveling. Like, did you get caught in the middle of a dark field with like no water and waiting for a bus?
Not this time, not
Okay,
yet.
good, good,
Oh, I
good.
hope I don't go through that again. Um, no, I mean, I guess, I mean, j just the usual chaos, like
Yeah.
scheduling chaos and stuff like that. Also, oh, okay, so before I left Mexico, I had booked a commercial, right?
Oh,
And then they wrote to me saying 2 weeks before we left, no, like a month before we left, saying that the writers had like done changed the script, updated the script, and they were looking at a couple changes that they were going to let me know.
yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's still a month before we leave. I'm sure they'll get back to me. But they got back to me 2 weeks ago. And so I had to like look for a studio here, and they were like, hey, we need you to record this and everything. It like if you look at the dialogue, it's like a nice big chunk, and I had to read it within 8 to 10 seconds. Yeah, I felt like a rapper in there.
Oh my
It
God.
was so funny.
It was like
But
rapid
luckily,
fire voiceover.
yeah, literally, it's like rapping out like the guy who was the audio engineer guy. Awesome, by the way, and I loved working with him, and so it's great that I have his contact. So whenever I'm in Madrid, I'm definitely going to his studio. So and he works with musicians all the time.
Oh,
And
very
he's
cool.
like, you know what? This sounds like a rap. And I'm
Yeah.
like, right? It's like a rap song. He's like, okay, what if we do this? And let's try this. And then we can do this so that you can get in the time frame that you need. And I was like, all right,
Very
let's
cool.
do this.
Was it in Spanish or English?
It was in Spanish.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Yeah, because you're bilingual and I love that. I love that for you. Um, and that's pretty sweet. Like that's pretty cool that like you're on the
Yeah.
go and you made it work and you found like a studio to work in.
Yeah. I was
I
lucky. Hi,
yeah.
Lloyd.
Hi Lloyd. I
Hello,
have
my
so
friends,
hello. We're so happy
and
that you're
happy
here.
belated birthday, Gabby.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Super late, but yeah.
Another year around the sun, is that what they say? When um I have some I was thinking about this like, because you're in a different time zone right now, and I was thinking about this taking
Yeah.
the full-time job that I'm taking. I'm like literally I live in one time zone, right? So like I live and breathe and like have my life in one time zone, and then now my work, because my team is in another time zone.
Oh my
So
God.
like I feel like my life is in two time zones all the time. Like even like when we were training, like we were always living in like two time zones. At least I was, because the training where we trained was in like, Pacific Standard Time or whatever.
Right.
And I was just like, that's so wild that like I'm always in two time zones. Hey, Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome, Gabby, Lloyd. This is Jen.
Hi,
Jen, nice to
Gabby.
meet
Hi,
you.
Lloyd. Does it say
Hi.
Jen? Yes, it does.
It
Okay, I'm
does.
turning off Bluetooth. I don't want anything pinging.
Oh, I hate that when that happens. Gabby is coming live from Spain, correct? Right?
Yes.
Love it.
And Lloyd is live from Las Vegas.
Okay, so you know the heat. We're not going to sit and complain about the heat. That's good.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
I got the
You,
heat too.
to be fair, you can complain about it. I will listen.
Yeah,
Jane will probably listen too because she's in Vegas.
She's
that's right.
also live in Vegas. I'm right now we had storms, like, so I won't complain about the storm because you guys all, I mean, I'm sure you probably get storms too in Arizona, but it was like storming, Gabby, and I was like, oh no, the power browned out. And I was like, please,
Oh
please
no.
for the love, please don't. Yeah, so anyways, we were at the beach recently, and I wanted to share this little piece of chaos with you because I thought it was interesting. Um And this couple came and sat next to us, and I was like, oh, I hope they're cool with like us rowdy people like next to them, like, but we were beachside and we got there early. And turns out that like, I struck up a conversation, and my kids are always like, here she goes again, talking to some strangers. And turns out that the guy was actually in the industry, or like, industry like adjacent, right? And like works with voice actors, works with actors, and like, and so I exchanged information with him and, sent him an email appropriately, like a week later. And I just thought I would share that with you because I think it's so important when we're like out and about. You never know, the people that you're going to meet.
I
Anyways,
just made a post on this on LinkedIn. I
did
think
you?
I think Jane might have seen it. So, as you guys may know, well, I don't know if get see, I pinged and I turned everything off. Okay, anyway.
We didn't hear it.
What? Okay, good. So anyway, but one of my many endeavors is I've gotten into modeling, and I went to a networking event. I was invited to a networking event at the modeling academy that I go to, and it was photographers, fashion designers, stylists, makeup artists, hairstyle, you name it. And then there were the current new young major tech issues. Okay, there were the current young models who were training. And I had been invited because I do a lot of marketing and networking and connecting and things like that. And so I was sort of the expert, the marketing and branding expert. So if they had questions, well, anyway, my post was about, they made introductions, they introduced all of us, and I went to go talk to these two young ladies. And as soon as they found out I wasn't a photographer or a stylist, they were like looking over my shoulder to find somebody else to talk to. I mean, and I saw it, like
Yeah.
I'm not dumb, right? And so I, of course, leaned in and I was like, so tell me about some brands that you'd like to work with and what, and I like really leaned in on them and made them like talk to me because I was really irritated. But I see that a lot. And I'm thinking, I may not be the photographer. I get at the networking event, you want to, we do this in voiceover
Yeah.
and you go to conferences. I want to talk to casting directors. I want to talk to agents. When you find different events, it's me, me, me. And I'm thinking, you're not even giving me a chance because I'm very well connected in a lot of areas that could relate to what you do. And
Yeah.
yeah, anyway, so to your
Younger, the,
point, you never know.
the younger generation, I think sometimes, I'm not, Lloyd, don't like, send a
I'm
firestorm
waiting.
at me.
I'm waiting. I haven't said anything.
I feel like sometimes the younger generation, or anybody really, like you are always kind of like, unless you're open to connecting and networking. Yeah. Anyways, I was just also saying that I live in like two different time zones because I took a full-time job. And that's also a part of my little bit of chaos recently because I've been kind of like this is another post that you posted on, but I want to hear more about you in just a second
Oh yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
because are you like considered the naked Jen?
I am naked Jen.
Okay.
I am
Okay.
NJ. That
Yeah.
is me.
Okay. I wanted to make sure I
And
had the
right now,
right
I left
Jen.
my shirt, unless asked. I usually will wear a shirt, but then other times I'll just, wear what I
Like
wore
a
that
tube
gave
top.
me that name, so that I look naked. So
Oh my
on
God, that's
screen.
hilarious. But I took a full-time job, and one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on is I wanted to talk about the many facets that you dive into. And I took a full-time job, and I was like kind of bumming a little bit about it recently because it's like it does take when you take a full-time job, it does take away from the things that you want to do, the endeavors you want to do, modeling, you want to get into acting, you want to do improv, you want to do voice acting. Being a creative, it's hard to be a creative and then also like have a full-time job and pay your bills. And this is my little bit of chaos, and then we're going to springboard into hearing a little bit more about Jen. Like I'm thankful that I have my full-time job because my husband just lost his job.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
I mean, it happens, right? I mean, corporate happens. Corporate comes in and they like to, make messes and change things up and stuff like that. So, that's my chaos right now. And so and as hard as I am on myself about taking a full-time job, I'm actually very proud that I did it and I'm happy that I have it. And I think that we need to like dive into how being a creative, not only do you need to network and connect with people and talk to different people wherever you are, but also too, like you have to do what you got to do when you got to do it and don't feel guilty or shameful about it. But I digress. Tell us more about you. You're one third of the VO booth besties. You're considered naked Jen. You're a voice actor. You're improv. You are an on-camera actor. You're a model. Like you are into home
Mom,
improvement,
wife,
mom,
yeah, mom,
friend,
wife, entrepreneur, like
cheerleader. Yeah,
freelance, yeah, cheerleader, like I am the Jen of all trades, right? So I just kind of do one of
you
everything.
are
But
the Jen.
the thing that you focused on the most, and this goes back just to say, what do I do versus who I am, versus what I am, right? Like
Yeah,
this is one of the, I kind of think, dangers of titling yourself, saying I am, and because I am so many things.
yeah.
I'm an accumulation of my life experiences, of my relationships, of my failures, and so I like to use the word creative because I just feel like that's a nice big umbrella term, because I kind of just do, I like to try everything, and maybe I'm good at it, maybe I'm not, or maybe I get really excited about it. That's part of being a creative and an artist, right? Is having passion, and passion is pain, but for
Yes.
pain, and so what I don't know, I want to learn. Like I am a sponge. I always want to grow as a person, grow as an artist, grow as a business person. So anyway, I like that you touched on being multifaceted, but then the
Yeah.
reality, a lot of people look at a job as just equaling money. And you made a really great point. You're married. Do you have children? You don't have to
Oh
answer
yeah.
that if you don't want
Oh
to.
yeah.
Okay.
I have three. Or
So
I've three.
yes, I have to catch myself sometimes. Sometimes that's an uncomfortable question, but even just money, a job is beyond just money, because there are a lot of bennies, right, that
Hmm.
come with working for a company, not just working for yourself. That's freelance. That's a gig economy, right? That means when you're like voiceover freelance creative, it's like it can be paycheck to paycheck. Some people say, oh, you have to think of it like you're fired after every project you finish, because then you got to go get hired again, right?
Oh,
You got
I
to go
didn't think
find
about
someone to
that.
hire you.
Yeah.
But with working for someone, working for a company, you forget there's paid vacation. Not forget, but a lot of
Yeah.
people forget there's options for 401k, 401k matching. There's pension options, health care, things like that. And so to ever be like, oh, I'm a creative, but I went and got a job. Well, yeah, actually, that's the smart thing. If you need to take care of your family, pay bills, take care of your health, your physical and mental health, you need those bennies, you need those extras. Um, but where I'll pause after this one comment to say, when I talk about, making your job your identity, that's something that a lot of people do. I try not to do it, but
Yeah.
the point is, just because you do a separate job other than that maybe is affording you a lifestyle, is affording you to pay your bills, etc., but your heart, your passion is I'm a voice actor, that doesn't take away from it.
Yeah.
I mean, how many Broadway actors, if I said I'm a Broadway actor, what's the first question you're going to ask me? You're going to say, where do you waitress?
Yeah, I was just gonna say our
Yeah.
bartend.
What,
Yeah.
yeah, or bartend. What
Yeah.
restaurant do you work at? Do you think, knowing that, do you think any Broadway performer or aspiring Broadway performer, maybe they haven't booked anything yet, do you think they think for a second that they are any less of an actor, a singer, a performer just because they waitress to pay? No. And I just find
No.
it fascinating. That was really the thing with my initial post, is to go, who said? Who said because you do this thing, you mow lawns, or you work in corporate or
Yeah.
whatever, that somehow, that you're not only being a voice actor Monday through Friday, 9 to 5? Like, who said that
Yeah.
somehow disqualifies you, discounts you from really truly being a voice actor? It's complete garbage.
It
So
is.
that's where that all came from. All right.
And I
So
love I no I love that, and I know I'm gonna let Lloyd go. I love that. That's why I brought you on, because I find so I have so we have so many creative friends in voice acting and on camera and improv, that's the majority of the people that we like are connected to. And and we have friends that are teachers, and they're kind of like, "Oh, I'm down on myself because I'm not a full-time voice actor, this
I don't
many
even know what that
years."
is anymore.
I
I don't even know
know.
what that is. That's
And yeah. And it's like, and it's just tough because it's like I was even hard on myself too, because like I did give myself like a good couple of years to go at it voice acting, because I have my husband who was working
hmm
full time, and I had the luxury, or I had the ability to be able to do that. And then looking back, it's like, gosh, I really wish I had been working at, I wish I had had income coming in
right.
from me too while I was spending. Anyways, but go ahead, Lloyd. I want you to say, because I know you're holding it in.
Yeah, I love that the conversation has gone this way, because I had a conversation yesterday basically about this.
Good. Good.
Um, uh, 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 I mean, obviously, I do voice acting and improv, and Jaws, I've kind of told you that I've been looking at like acting outside of voice acting. So I've been taking on camera classes, and I met with a guy locally here who's an acting coach, and we talked for like 4 hours. And there was one point in which he was like, so what do you do for work? I was like, well, my title is media specialist. I do photography, videography, blah, blah. And mind you, we're here to talk about acting. And I'm not somebody who, like, I'm not on a stage or on camera anywhere as of yet. And he says, the problem with saying that you're a media specialist when acting is what you want to do is that you don't have to get permission from anybody to be an actor. Like, if you say you're an actor, you're an actor, and photography and videography are skill sets that you
Yep.
have,
Yep.
but but you're an actor. And it's just the idea of identifying as what you do for like a
Money.
living versus like what you feel you are,
hmm
uh is I
I like
having
that.
trouble articulating what I'm trying to
No,
say.
keep
It
going.
is
You got
important.
it.
Well, no, I'm just having trouble articulating, but it's important to decide for yourself what you are rather than letting a title decide what you are. And I was
And
just
you
like,
don't need anyone's, I love you don't need anyone's permission. Like
yeah,
literally, the voiceover business, I've said this many times. Gabriella, are you in voiceover as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
My
Yeah.
husband, he thinks the voiceover industry is the strangest thing ever. And truly, it actually is. If you really think about it, he's like, I have never seen any aspect of an industry where you guys are all in each other's chili, like all the time,
Like
judging each
that.
other about, well, what rates are you charging? How are you marketing? How are you doing? He's like, who cares? It is your business. Do whatever you want. But we have so many loudspeakers, voices just saying, you must do this, you must do this, you must do that.
Mm.
And I'm like, I'm the one going, no, you don't. You
Yeah.
think Bill Gates and Bezos and all those guys check in with each other? Yeah, I know they're not in the same industry, but in,
Right. Yeah.
hypothetically, they're in this. You
Yeah.
think they're checking in with each other going, hey, would you charge that company to do the thing? Oh, they're just doing it their way on their terms. They owe no one an explanation
Yeah.
about whatever they decide to do, what their website looks like, how they choose to do social media, whether you don't. And here's the other beauty of voiceover. Like, let's be real for a minute. Even if you are auditioning, and I know people who claim that they are doing 20 auditions or more a day. I don't even know what that looks like. I'll be honest. I have no idea. I do not audition that much. Furthermore, we're definitely in a slowdown time. But in theory, you could do your whole voiceover. You could book work and audition, even if you told me 20 times, even if you said I booked 20 times, I bet out of your whole day, you need to be behind the microphone for a few hours.
Yeah.
Like, let's really be honest. Now, sessions, they can book you for 2 hours. But in my experience, 30 minutes, an hour, we're knocking stuff out. But if you really think about your day-to-day in voiceover, it is not 8, 9, 10 hours a day. And if it is, I don't know what you're doing in the booth, but
Yeah.
I think you're not living your life either. So my point is, no one has to know, because again, you don't have to clock in. You don't owe anyone a timesheet to know how much or how little time you're spending in the booth every single day. And so if you are choosing or need to be working somewhere else, it's nobody's business. And guess what? You can still have a voiceover business. I don't call it a career anymore.
Yeah.
I've left that word behind. I just think
Really.
that's yes. So your voiceover journey, you can make money, you can do what you want to do and have another 1, 2, 3 jobs, whatever. And it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
But yet our
Mhm.
industry is very vocal. We really want to share what you shouldn't do, how much you should charge, blah, blah, blah. And it just literally, we're freelance.
Right.
Freelance entrepreneurs. We get to do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And I try to really encourage that. One of the things I say a lot, anytime that I do workshops, anytime that I, speak at conferences, I always say, I will never tell you what to do. I will encourage you. I will, say, consider this. But every one of us on this Zoom call, everyone in every Facebook group, we all have different circumstances in our life, financial, family, personal, disabilities,
Yeah. Health. Yeah.
health, like you name it, that have an impact on what you do. And so for someone to impose their have tos on you, I just think it's completely
Yeah.
ludicrous. And like you said, Jocelyn, I mean, it's a great point. My husband does work full time, and I have the privilege
Yeah.
of, I want to
Privilege.
work. I'm a worker, like I'm a hustler, but I don't have to. But I love working. I'm a labor person. I should have been born a farmer. I don't know. That's just, I just love working. But so that's the other part is I also, we try to travel a lot. We have just a lifestyle that doesn't necessarily work for me to go work full time in an office 9 to 5. And we've got 2 teenagers. And so,
It's a
but
choice. Yeah.
that's our choice. And that's
Yeah.
kind of how our family works. And we can do it.
Yeah.
There are some people who can't. And I would never, just like being a musician, I guess my brother was a musician for, he still is a musician, but I just feel that voiceover has become a gig economy, just like being a music. I would never say, oh, you're not truly a musician if you're not only playing
Mhm.
all day every day. Like
Yeah.
that's absurd that we
Like,
put that on people.
yeah.
Anyway.
And no, and it also
Yeah.
is disheartening when you hear other friends who are interested in being in the creative realm or, want to get into voiceover or they're in voiceover and then they're discouraged because they have a full-time job and they're not able to do voiceover full time. So therefore they don't feel like they're a voice actor because they're working at a day job,
But
full time.
they're comparing that definition to other people.
Yeah, with the
Like,
comparison game is not good. Like it's a really terrible thing to
because
do.
what is voiceover full time? Like I said, I don't know anybody who is in the booth at 9 in the morning and they're like, "Yep, I'm just do like 8 hours." I don't even. That's just it. Just doesn't make sense the terminology.
Yeah.
And then
And
you can
also,
say you can say I as a voice act, I use voice acting to to, yeah, to sustain my lifestyle. I mean, I guess you could kind of say that, but again, I even think, like I said, I've dismissed the word career because it implies there's benefits. It implies there's
yeah,
other things that there's just not,
it's not available. And also too, like I think that there's a disconnect too, where like it's okay to be working full time and like you said, being very specific and strategic about how you develop your voiceover career or your on-camera career. Like I've had to sort of like shift my perspective, like taking a full-time job, I have hours that I have to work 11 to 8. I'm on a Pacific Standard Time. I mentioned this. I live in Eastern Standard Time, but I work on Pacific Standard Time. So I live in two time zones, work and breathe and live in two time zones. But I now have the morning to be able to get up, do my
love it.
mom duties, hang out with my husband, have a cup of coffee, walk my dogs. I can get in my workout. And then if I want to, I can schedule sessions if I need to in the
That's right.
morning. But like you have to be strategic and specific. And so if you choose to do something in anything you choose to do, you have to be specific and make the choice to incorporate it into your lifestyle, whatever that means.
Like that.
If you're a pottery person, if you like to, throw pots and you're creative that way, or you paint, you don't have to be painting like 8 hours a day to be an artist.
That's right.
You can, do it every once in a while, or, you don't have to be, like you said, a musician and be playing giant arenas. Like that's like a small scope of
Hmm.
people, like I got into acting and I thought, oh, I'm too old. There's too many types of people already of like me, or, I don't know. And then my coach is like, what? Everybody needs the wacky aunt. Everybody needs the wife, or like they need, there's different places for you to be. Like you can carve out a place for you to be and to, to act. Um, I don't know. I
But
just
I like what Lloyd said, that the person he worked with, just re reiterating, it's where your heart is, like,
mm,
and you don't need to be defined by what you do. I mean, because I joke, I'll say, yep, wife, mom, actor, and kind of like in that, and then I'm like, I mean, those are part of me, but again, I've done a million different things that make Jen,
yeah,
and so I do think it's interesting how we label ourselves and then want to fit this imaginary definition.
yeah.
Um, so I give everyone permission. I give you the
There
freedom
you go.
to
Permission.
just let it go. And if you're like, voice acting is where my heart is, it's where my passion lies, done.
Yeah.
Done. Be,
I-
do voiceover and then also do everything else you need to do.
Yeah. I think it's also important too to, like you said, to like have that passion and find that joy and like also incorporate that into your choices. Like I remember thinking, what am I doing? Why am I taking acting classes? Like, why am I taking time out of my day to like drive 2 hours to go be on set all day to get paid like X amount of dollars? It's like you know, once you add the food and the gas and the hotel, like that's, you're not making a lot of money. But I remember leaving a gig and thinking like my heart was literally singing, like literally, like I felt so light and airy and the joy was like so was there. So it's like to not be able to do something like that just because I feel like I shouldn't be doing it or, like, or like, oh, I'm not doing it full time, so therefore like I shouldn't be doing it or I can't be doing it or whatever. Like, no, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure out I'm working full time and I'm still trying to figure out how to be able to do on camera gigs. And I just
Yeah.
have to be a little bit more selective about it,
Yep.
and I have to find the time when I'm going to be able to do the auditions I have to do because, there's setup and there's hair and there's makeup and there's memorizing of lines. And if you want it and you're passionate about it and it brings you joy, you just do it and you
And you
find a way
also
to
have to
make it
find, and there's
happen.
also days that you just have to say, I can't do it.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
mean, we went to Japan for 2 weeks and I really thought long and hard. I'm like, do I bring the 416? Do I bring my interface? And then I just was like, no, no, I'm going to be present. I'm going to miss job opportunities. It doesn't even mean that I booked. I'm not thinking so confidently like I was going to book them all, but I'm just like, I'm going to miss opportunities. And I went, okay. Again, like you also got to have to give yourself permission to go, no,
Yeah,
like
to
now's not
live
the time.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
still gotta live your life and enjoy it. You said something else that,
Lloyd, I'm sorry.
yeah.
What?
Well, what I was gonna say was in regards to telling yourself whether or not you deserve to do something in the arts in general. One thing that I have continuously heard and had to remind myself and now others of is if you want to do something and you're doing it, right?
Yes.
You're doing the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
There are for you get on people complain about voices, right? And how many people sign up for voices in the past 3 years. And it's like for every one of those people, there are probably 20 more who were like, I would love to do voice acting, and they
Uh-huh.
Very
never
true.
stepped behind a mic, took a class. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're doing the thing, you're doing the work. That's the job. You deserve to do it.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah, I like that.
Exactly. Jen, um, what, so coming back to the passion, what sparked that passion? Like when did it spark in you?
Yeah.
Walking out of my mother's vagina. That's what
That's hilarious.
I have been a
Whoa.
performer since I I have been a
I
performer
love it.
since birth. I mean, I've written like a funny kind of bio, like long bio story, and my mother will tell stories like I was the first grandbaby, and they'd just put me on a blanket, and they'd all just stare at me and just wait for me to do something. Like that was
Aw.
so like a little pressure. So no, I was cast in my first opera at 7. And
Wow.
then I got a full ride scholarship for musical theater for college. So I always had this passion for performing. I was in choir and show choir, and I was a dance
Wow.
instructor. I was a choreographer. I've always just been in that space. I write children's books. When I was little, I've lived in Germany twice, but the first time when I was younger, we lived on base and, just kind of, they had like base housing basically, like apartments. And on the top floor was like a big rec area. And yeah, my dad would be working or deployed, and my mother was working, and she would get home, and the neighbors would be like, "Oh, we're really looking forward to the performance tonight." Like, she's like, "What
That's
are you
hilarious.
talking about?" And I would have made handwritten like invitation. I mean, I'm probably 6 or 7 and went to all the neighbors, down the stairs and gave them, there's going to be a performance. And I had a Beach Boys cassette,
I love it.
full cassette player. And she was like one of my very, very best friends. And she was a year or two older than I am. And she had been in some dance classes. So she had like some leotards and costumes. I was a gymnast, so I didn't really have costumes. I just had leotards. But anyway, she had all this fun stuff. So I would dress up and people would come up and I'd just hit play and I'd just start dancing. And
That's
that was the
hilarious.
performance.
Wow.
So it's innate. It's a part of me. Both of my parents, just my brother is a prodigy musician, singer songwriter. He is phenomenal. He can play any instrument. He can transpose any song just on the fly. Like his brain works in just amazing ways. But my parents look at both of us and are just like, I got no idea.
Where'd you come from?
Yeah, my dad's a computer programmer, math major. My mom worked in financial aid at universities. Anyway, so yeah, we're just sort of these alien creatures. But the thing that what they really don't get is my relentlessness. Um, and if I hope we all get connected, because you will see one of the big things that I really push is go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Ask the question,
Mhm.
call the person, like you get this is I'm going to take a moment. We're going to go a little bit right. So my in-laws are 89 and 90, and most recently we had to put them into a facility, a personal care home. And they just need full-time care at this point. And we went down a couple weeks ago. I can't believe already. Completely cleaned out. We own their home. We had bought it for them so they could be closer to family. We move all the time because we're prior military. So we're like, look, we can help financially. We just can't be there to get you to doctor's appointments and whatnot. And so we moved him closer to his sisters and the grandkids. Great. And they've had almost 20 years there
Wow.
and really enjoyed their time in
Wow.
North Houston. But all that to say, we show up and so we had to move them out. And I'm like, we got to sell the house. Like, and both, by the way, we got to go clean it all out. And again, being a military, I was raised in the Army and then married Air Force. So I've basically moved every 2 to 3 years of my whole life. So I know how to move. I know how to pack. So when we got there, I mean, I was just like a machine and just got the entire house cleaned out in 2.5 days. Like
Wow.
everything was either donated, the family members took stuff, trash, like you name it. And on the way back, so here's my point, is I just like went, you get one life. You get one
Mm.
chance to do anything and everything you want to try, that you want to do, that you want to fail at.
Yeah.
Not you want to fail, that you will fail at.
Yeah. It's part of it.
Whatever
Yeah.
inspirations you have, businesses you want to start, just anything that you want to try. I said, your parents, my husband, I was telling my husband, I'm like, they spent 90 years of their life. I'm like, they're collecting things. She had all of this cut crystal and just things that clearly had value to them. But then you step back and you go, nobody wants nobody
Yeah.
wants anything.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
we as humans I would like to believe we want more is experiences.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people who never leave their city. There are people who never leave their state. There are people who never leave the United States. And I think, what a missed opportunity to enjoy another country, another culture, another religion, different food, different languages, and to choose to go, yeah, but instead I'm going to buy this thing and I'm going to use all my money on, and that's not judging. I'm just saying just where we put our value and what we want to where we want to put our energy and things to try and things like that.
Yeah.
Same with being a creative. That's where I was going with this. It's like you got one life, you got one chance. I'm 46 years old. I've tried to do a lot of the things I want to do, and that's where the relentless part comes in. I want to keep trying.
Yeah.
Like I haven't given up. And I also would hope for all of you, I want to encourage all of you, keep going.
Go
Or
for it. Yeah.
if you're kind of just spinning your wheels and you're like, I just don't think this is like I'm kind of booking a little, or maybe it's just really hobby at this point. Like maybe I book once or twice a week or a month even. But then surely as creatives, you've got more things that you're like, I wonder if I could do this.
Yeah.
Like, and I'll give
Yeah.
you one more example. I've got a voice actor who he was doing some short meditation work, and he had made a connection with an airline and was pitching to them that he wanted to get his meditations as part of their entertainment. So when people were taking off, when you're taking off, they could just
Yeah.
listen and relax more. Great idea. I mean, and it's on that is available on a lot of airlines now, but him in particular. But he and I had a relationship, and he reached out to me and he was like, Jen, he's like, I got all the details. And Lloyd, you'll appreciate this because this is what you already do. I like to say I'm savvy. I know enough to be dangerous and a lot of different things. I'm a scrappy kind of person. Like I'll figure things out. But he messaged me. He was like, Jen, he's like, I really want to collaborate with you. Do you think you can meet the specs on the video that's required and then put his voice, his meditations to it? And I was like, I don't know, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
And our collaboration is now on Virgin Airlines.
Wow.
But
That's
Wow.
no
cool.
voiceover from me. I'm not a full-time, not a trained videographer, editor, I, but I figured it
Figured it
out,
out.
So I just it's this act of this idea of not limiting yourself.
Yeah.
So that's where I'll
Mm.
kind of put a period on this is it's always been a part of me and I always want more, but like Jocelyn was saying earlier, more feed something in your soul creatively when you're
Yeah.
doing it's not always money. I know what I was going to say earlier. I saw a t-shirt once that said a true musician will spend $100 in gas for a $50 gig.
Yeah.
And
That's
I just
true.
always, yes. And I was
Yeah.
like, yes,
Yeah.
yes, because we want it. We want
Yeah.
to do it. We want to
Yeah.
be in front of the crowd and we want to, just do what we love. And so
That's important.
yeah, it's keep going. Keep going. What are you laughing
I
at?
think
I
no,
feel
I
that.
love
It,
all
wa- it
I love everything you said.
it's funny
Yeah.
because I relate to that in regards to improv. I have a
Okay.
friend who she and I have driven to LA multiple times to just see like a $20 show, and it's like,
Yes.
My
Yeah.
my husband says to me all the time, he's like, "Wait a second. How much is the gig?" Because he's like, we had this whole conversation, about, we've had some turmoil, we've got some big decisions to be making. He's like, wait a second, how much is that gig? And then you add the hotel and then the
Yep.
gas money and then you add the food and this. And I'm like, he's like, how much are you netting? And I'm like, I don't know. I want this.
Yeah.
I want to do it. I don't care. I'll do it for free. I'll
Who
pay them.
cares?
They pay me, like, it's like, and he's like,
Doesn't
well,
matter right now.
yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, I love it. I love it so much. I want to keep doing it, but I've also discovered too that it's very important to be strategic. It's very important to be selective. It's also very important to take into consideration of what my means are and like what I kind of can't do. And I have to be for me personally, I'm just trying to be really more selective and careful about before, when I first got into voiceover, I was like, pedal to the metal, balls to the wall, like just, I'm just doing everything I can.
Yeah.
And looking back and reflecting, I wish I had been a little bit more careful and about the choices I made. But you can't live like that. You just have to keep moving forward and making better choices as you move forward. Yeah. So I was going somewhere with that, but now
Jen,
I forgot.
I
Go
I
ahead.
have a question.
Yeah.
So you said you were trying to figure out because or the Virgin meditation video that you did.
Mm,
The fact that you didn't know is very intriguing because I know going into the unknown scares a lot of people.
for
So
sure.
can you walk us through the steps of like what you did to get out of that position or to just figure
Right.
out how to like
My
what
husband
steps?
says the FBI has nothing on me. He says the FBI has nothing on a mom who wants answers because we will find them. But that is, like I said early on in this interview, one of the things about me is I'm always learning and I want to learn. I want to be a
Yeah.
sponge. So, okay, so to answer your question, so when he says, okay, here's the specs, and I'm just going, I don't know this, I've never seen this, right? Well, I start Googling it. And I figure out I've got an Apple computer, I've got iMovie. I know enough to be dangerous. I'm savvy in some areas. I mean, I've done, just my own little video stuff. I've created a couple commercials for myself just for fun. But it's what the baseline is try, like
Yeah.
try something. And for example, again, Lloyd can speak to all of this because it's definitely his wheelhouse. But you create something and it'll say it needs, and I'm making this up. It'll be 1080 by some other number. Well, I don't know what that is,
Yeah.
right? Then
Right.
when I go
Yeah.
and save the video, and then I am able to get the information, I like look up how do I know if my video is this spec. So you just I don't know, it's
Figure
very
it out.
trial and error, but that is also auditioning, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is
Yeah.
going, can I do this? I don't know. Can I do this voice or can
Yeah.
I do this type of ad? And then you try and you put yourself out there. I think that is a lot of people say I'm fearless I don't say I'm fearless because well, I don't know. I can't think of anything specific that I'm actually afraid of to think about. But usually there's something. but I am just, again, relentless. I am a person who will just try anything. Again, the worst that happens is you go, shit, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Or you
Yeah.
go, shit, that didn't work. Here's how
Yeah.
I'm going to fix it.
Yeah.
Here's how I can do it differently.
Mm.
So, you have options, but if you never even, oh yeah, and the third option is, shit, that worked.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, you've got three ways to approach things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact is very, Yoda-like, there is no try, there is, there's just do,
Do.
So if you, but it's
Mm.
your choice. That's
Yeah.
Jocelyn talking about being strategic and making choices. You could never do anything, or just go for
Just
it.
do it. I love
You
that
were
when you
like,
said,
sorry.
oh, go ahead.
Hi.
Yay,
You,
Jane.
Jen, are like the troubleshooter that everybody wants to be.
Yeah.
No,
I
seriously,
love
like
that.
sometimes because we're friends on Facebook and
Yeah.
hopefully we'll meet in
Yes.
person one day.
Yes.
But um yeah, so it's funny you talk about like we're all creatives. I feel like I'm a new creative, just learning things as I go. Because I can't learn something and then forget about it. Like I have to have the project in front of me to learn it. Like
Yeah.
I built my own website because I wanted to save money, but I didn't know how to do it. But I figured out how to do it. It took me 6 months to do it. I still did it.
Right.
And like a couple months ago, I joined this Chinese lion dance club that just formed
Interesting.
a few months ago, and they don't have a website. And because I took your Canva your Canva class on
Yeah.
putting
Oh, my speed class that I
putting MP3, yeah, putting your
sorry.
MP3 to videos. I
Yep.
knew that, okay, I can learn more stuff on Canva if I just put in the time, right? And so this club was like, oh, we need, we want to try to get some more, we need to get some gigs for lion dance, blessings, and all of that. And I was like, well, you guys don't have a website. If you're going to start promoting, you need a website so that
Mm-hmm.
people can just click on, how to get your email and call you and all that stuff. And he was like, yeah, I have a guy in Boston that's supposed to build out our whole website. And I was like, well, you need something right now. I can try to do it,
There
Nice.
you
I
go.
and I told him I was like, I'm just trying to learn it. It's it's this Canva thing, but give me some content, give me your logos, give me your
Colors, maybe.
photos.
I don't know.
And yeah, like within 2 days, I was like, this is so freaking easy.
Right. Well,
And
and
now
this
they
is
have a
what
temporary website. So
right.
And you
And
feel
you have
good.
you've stretched yourself. You have a new skill set. You
Yeah.
have a marketable skill set. It doesn't have to be what you're doing all the time,
Yes.
but also doesn't it feel good to help other
I was gonna
people?
say that. Yeah. Feels
Doesn't
good.
it feel good to just be like, I can help you with that? Again,
Yes.
not trying to look for the job or the full-time thing, but hey, if you need some social graphics, I can help you with that.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
amazing, Jane. Thank you for sharing that because like
Yeah.
your
Well,
website is really cool and you're always continuously like,
I wanted to share it because Jen, you were kind of like that inspiration because
aw.
you're kind of like in my head in
You
some
you have a
ways.
Jen in your
I'm just
head.
like, what would Jen do? Oh, like certain
we do have
people.
what would Jen do? Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that hashtag a lot. What would
Yeah. Like
Jen do?
there are certain people in the industry who are like,
Funny.
oh, what would this person do? Or what would this person do? And when it comes to like troubleshooting and like getting that confidence to ask the questions or to reach out, like there are specific people that are like in my head, and you're one of them. Mark
Figure it out.
Love
Scott,
it.
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's
That's awesome.
hard, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I you gain just a little bit of confidence, and then you just keep pushing. You're like, okay, yeah, I can do this. This is good enough.
Yeah.
These are the micro wins. That's right.
Yes, I like
Your
that.
Yeah.
little
Mm.
micro wins. And that, my one of my friends, Alicia, she did a great video on TikTok, but just about how a snowball just starts from a
Yeah.
snowflake, and like, so it's
Yeah.
just learning those skills and growing and growing and growing. And I've said for a long time, when I do interviews like this, I think voice actors nowadays, I'm not saying it's impossible, and and it's not for me to say because people's careers or their journeys go in all different directions, and But I think it's very hard to just be a voice actor in
Yes.
2025. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't see how you can just. But I also know producers. I also know client. To your your example is so perfect, Jane. I want to go back to it. There are just people who don't know what they don't know, and they need things on a silver platter. They don't want you to pitch, hey, I do voiceover. And they're like, okay, I don't know what the hell you want me to do with that. I don't even know what that is, or I don't know how that works. No, you can say, hey, I created a video of your store, whatever, the thing, and I put some narration on it telling people about it. And they go,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, can we pay you? Can you do this again? We'll pay you. Can we do this right? So, but it's on you
Yeah.
to put it on a silver platter. Don't
Mm-hmm.
make them think. What is it? What do you do? Show me what you can do. How much does it cost? And
Yeah.
will you do it again? Absolutely. But they don't, most people don't get it.
Yeah.
So when you're just pitching
Mm.
services, it's that show don't tell. I'm sure you've heard that it's
Yeah.
an expression used in so many areas of writing and everything. Same thing with you as a creative, as a voice actor. I just truly believe in 2025 and 2024 too. You've got to up your game to provide more services or just to be able to market yourself better. You've got to have more things that you can use. I
Yeah.
also say if you're not a person who's comfortable with that, you're just like, Jen, I don't want to do iMovie, I don't want to do Canva, I don't want, then you know what you do? You make friends. You build your vendor list, right?
Yes.
I'm going to call Lloyd and be like, Lloyd, listen, I don't have time or I don't have the time to learn. Hey, can we collaborate now? One of the big things that I always do, I always offer to pay my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Always. I'm not
Mm.
just going to, because you
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't want that for you either. My friends always go, no. So it's not that necessarily anything, but it's making the offer, knowing I value your time,
Yeah.
knowing that I appreciate that if you're going to do this thing, even if it just takes you a few minutes, how many times have we heard what takes you a few minutes was actually 10 years of training, and therefore you can do
Mm.
the thing in 10 minutes. It's not how you do it now. It's been, the
Yeah.
what happened before that, the tip of the iceberg's here, but the rest of it's down here. So
Yeah.
but I say if you don't know or just don't want to learn, build your vendor list.
Yeah.
Find those collaborators you can work with and say, hey, I'm pitch just like my friend who, was like, hey, I want to
Yeah.
pitch this and I'm going to pay you, once everything gets through. But he probably could have figured it out himself, maybe, but maybe not.
Yeah.
But then to offer it to me. And
Yeah.
like that was so nice. He didn't have to do that either, So building these relationships, I hope all five of us or all four of us are, all connected after this. And if there's things, hey, I've got a question about this, da da da. I really try to be free with my time. I really try to help any way I can.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes me a few days, but that's what I would say too, is just build up your collaborator list,
Yeah.
and they don't have to be in voiceover.
Yeah.
Again, we are
Mm.
so in this chili pot together,
A
like
chili
just we're
pot.
all swimming around, and I'm like, jump over to that pot, go
Yeah.
over there, find, just go get in chicken noodle soup and tomato soup and see what they're
Yeah.
doing because, ah,
And
anyway,
it's and no, and it's okay. We have friends too that have gotten started in voiceover and then they were like depressed or disheartened that it didn't work for them, or it's not really like they're not going into it full time and they're not
yeah,
just a voice actor. But you know what? They got into improv. They started doing on
there you
camera
go.
stuff, or they started, writing music with a friend of theirs. So starting something and figuring something out, even if you don't know how to do it and it's messy while you're trying to figure it out, just going for it, doing it, trying to figure it out. You never know where it's going to lead you. I didn't
Yes,
know how to do a
yes,
podcast. 4 or
yes.
5 years ago, I didn't know what a podcast even was. I was like, what in the fuck is a podcast? And I was just on the driveway, sitting in lawn chairs with the kids running up and down the street, having a cocktail with my girlfriend. And I had, just gotten out of radio and I figured it out. Now are we like Joe Rogan? No. But are we having fucking fun? Yes.
Yeah,
We are having fun and we are loving it and we get to have conversations like this. And this fills my cup up. And it's okay, and it's like, that's okay to do that. Again, I lost my train of thought because I got too excited
that's
about
okay.
things.
We
But,
all get excited.
just doing it, like just doing the podcast led me into connecting with a friend who got me into voiceover, and then voiceover led me into on camera. And then on camera led me into my full-time job. And I've now taken skill sets from a lifetime of things I've done, and I'm now working at a corporate job full time, but it's like adjacent and allows me to still do the voiceover, still allows me to do the on camera, still allows me to be creative and passionate, right? And that's also important, is allowing yourself to become who you are meant to be and not putting restrictions on yourself or limitations on yourself, or like you said, Jen, labels.
Yep.
Like, just do it all. Don't
Well,
be
and
scared.
you just said something that prompted another thought is also if like in your company or like Jane offered, but let's say she didn't offer, let's say they asked her, "Hey, have you built a website before? Can you help us?" And the same thing with my friend is also just maybe don't say no right away.
Yeah.
Like give yourself a minute and go, I don't know. You know what? Maybe I can. The way I started producing some radio spots. One of my parents' best friends, they own an Airbnb in uh not Montana. Okay, it's lost me.
North Dakota,
Don't be
Yeah,
North Dakota.
Wyoming.
Please, not North Dakota.
Big tiny Wyoming. Yes, Wyoming. Thank you. I was like, it's up there. It's spacious. There's no people. Hang on. I'll get there. So in Wyoming. Anyway, but he reached out to me. He's like, Jen, there's a local radio station. You can appreciate it. And he was like, can you put together like a 15 or 30-second radio spot for me? Now, as a voice actor, I know how to do voiceover. Now, I didn't already know a little bit, but I'm just saying for people who haven't done a lot of, engineering or editing. But early on I did this, but these are skills. Learn how to edit, learn how to find music you can use, learn how to lay a music bed. And guess what? He was like, it took me nothing. Like it took me he sent over like the general script. I made it sound prettier. I record it. I laid it to 3 different tracks, sent it to him. He said, I like the first one. Done. So then we did a 50. So we did a 30 and a 50 and one just a little bit shorter. Circle back 6 months later. He's like, he sent me another message and said, hey, Jen, he goes, the radio station, because a lot of people don't know this, radios, and you do, Jocelyn, but a lot radio stations will just try to use their own people.
Yeah.
To voice stuff or to pull it together. They don't necessarily, they're not going to pay you a ton of money to do the spot. They'll just make a package and they'll say, hey, next time we'll just build it for you. We'll just do it in-house. Well, that's what they did with him, as he said, yeah, the radio people asked me or said, hey, we'll just do it for you. And he goes, I didn't like it at all. So he goes, can you do another one for, I was like, yep. And so produce it.
Awesome.
So again, it was not a no. It was like, you know what, I bet I could do this, like just to make sure I know what I'm doing and how to find the right, music bed. And I was already doing voiceover, but just again, growing that skill set that if somebody came to you and said, hey, can you produce a 15 or 30-second radio spot that you could go, yeah, I knew that,
Yeah.
Have
That's
engineer
awesome.
friends just go, hey, I put this together. Does this sound right? Like I've got engineer friends who wouldn't hesitate to go, yeah, levels are a little off here. I tweaked it for you. Here you go. And just gave it back or whatever, so, but then you go, oh, well, what did you, and so then you back to learning. Hey, what did you tweak? So I know for next time, and I'm not bothering you next time. Like I want to make sure I can do it. So just using all of your little things. Jocelyn, I gotta believe there's going to be an opportunity somewhere in this company. I don't know what it is, but there's going to be, they need, they're going to need phone messaging. They're going to have a training video. They're going to have like an event and they're going to be like, hey, we need somebody to host or, whatever. You can make opportunity. That's my other kind of mantra is don't wait for the opportunity, make your opportunity. So I'm all about, I'll take, like most recently, how I got Lowe's. Gabrielle and Lloyd, if you don't know, I'm a new host for Lowe's How to Anything series.
Yes, I wanted to talk about this.
Oh,
yes.
really
Okay.
cool.
So
Congratulations.
thank you. It's absolutely wonderful. Well,
She likes
how it
power
started
tools,
is
just so you know.
because I love power tools and I renovate homes and I used to be a
Amazing.
contractor. I just built a potting table over the last weekend. Anyway,
I saw
so
that.
yeah, it's perfect. I don't love the color, but whatever. That's whatever. But what started it all is I was like, again, we're back to, Lloyd, I'm all about the girl power. So you just gotta get on board.
He
So
is too. He is
Most of
too.
my
He
friends are
is. He
women,
is.
so
good. I like you a little bit
I,
more. Just kidding. So I was like, I watch all these design shows, they drive me nuts, but I watch all these design shows, and then you see the big box commercials. And I mean, no kidding, at the time, this was 2 years ago, like every commercial was men with power tools, men mowing the lawn, and men building, and the women picked out paint and plants. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my gosh. But then when you look at the design shows, there's a lot of women building and using power tools
Yeah.
and those kind of things. I was like, oh, where is this disconnect? So I literally, my poor husband, my family gets dragged into stuff. They are not entertainment people. This is not their world. He's like, it is yours. But so usually one of my children or my husband has to be my videographer, and I'm just yell at them, and I don't really yell at them, but I'm
I
like,
do. I do
I'm the
actually sometimes.
director, and so I'm like, nope, stand there. Okay, let me look at it. Nope, stand here. Anyway, so I created 2 Home Depot commercials. I created the concept. I created the narration. I did it all. I starred in it. And then I used that as my marketing material and I started pitching to every single person I could get in touch with who I thought had anything to do with marketing, commercial, CD, the creative director. I found the head of global marketing. I reached out to the CEO. Like I go big. I go
Yeah.
big. But I'd used all of this knowledge I had. And so again, to the make your opportunity. So I went as far as I could go and I just got the head of global marketing said, we've done a study group, which I was like, I know who was in the study group. And he's like, people don't like to see women working hard, is what I was told.
Hmm.
I know, right? And I was just
You
like,
work hard every day.
well, I know. I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
I know what demographic was in that focus group. So anyway, I was like, whatever. And so then collectively, actually, Jane and the voiceover community, they were like, quit wasting your time on Home Depot and go talk to Lowe's. So I went over to Lowe's and found the senior creative director. She's fantastic. And I connected with her on LinkedIn, pitched her. Then she said, email me. And then not even a week later, we're on a Zoom call. She goes, I love everything. Let's figure out how we can use you. And they weren't looking for me. They were not looking for Jen Greenfield. They didn't know I existed. And then I'm pitching them with Home Depot commercials. So that wasn't probably, didn't entirely help my cause. But I go to her and she told me, she said, actually, the CEO, although a male, is very progressive. She said, we really love this idea. So first, they already had actually a black man who does their voiceover. So she's like, for all the commercials. So she's like, we're kind of set there. I said, fine, great. That's okay. So she said at first they were like, maybe we should put you in social media, like do some sort of content creation or something. And then I don't even know, somehow, some way, a new idea came. They were like, actually, we have this series called How to Anything, and it's a DIY series that they do on YouTube. And she was like, what do you think of because I also, again, do improv. I also do acting and hosting. So I'm very comfortable under the camera. That's in front of the camera. And that's something that not a lot of other people are comfortable with. And I was like, what? And so she put me in touch with the producer director of the crew they have out in LA, because they're headquartered in North Carolina, but they've got a crew out in LA. And so, yeah, I met with him and he's like, yeah, we'd love to have you. He's like, the first episode we're going to do for you is how to custom cut and install blinds. And then after that, we just renovate an entire staircase, took out carpet, put in new treads and risers. Anyway, and so
Wow.
so we're just going to keep on going. But so this was don't wait for your opportunity, make your opportunity. Another
I
thing
like
that I
that.
do, actually, I just did it this afternoon. Is there is a company, I also will add voiceover to ads that don't have voiceover. That's a thing now. I actually think it's
Yeah.
super weird. Jane would agree.
Really?
It'll just be music. And one of the things, I've had this conversation with several people. Companies, it's almost like they're not even thinking about it. They don't say the name of their brand. of their product. Yeah. Have you experienced that, Gabriella? And you're like,
Yeah, yeah.
actually, yeah, like you may know it, but viewers, listeners, especially on social media, how we process, I want to see the captions. Maybe I want to listen to, but also saying the name, then it sticks in your head a little bit better
Yeah.
rather than just reading it and dismissing it, or it just being on the product. Maybe they don't even do a placement, maybe it's just on the product, and they just do music now.
Yeah.
And so I just did it today with a product that I absolutely get behind. It's a non-alcoholic beer. And I'm like, they have no freaking voiceover. So I voiced a tagline to say their what they had at the end, and then the company name. And I'm going to pitch it to them. I did the same thing with History Channel. Another thing I'll tell you guys, again, like my brain's going now. I get
No,
excited.
you're good. You're
I get
good.
excited about content creation. But one of the things that happens too is, and you're going to see this, I want you to go on social media and you're going to see this. So again, when we think of reaching different audiences too, to include blind or not fully sighted people, also is having or even deaf people, is having those captions, the pop up. And
Mhm.
the only way you get those is if there is actual talking. I know that sounds,
Okay.
Like,
duh,
yeah, the voice.
but
Yeah.
but what some people are doing, let me see if I can find an example. But what some companies are doing is they're just laying the text on the video. By just laying the text on the video, if I need my text to speech to tell me what, if I'm blind and I need text, there's nothing, because there's no one actually it's just it laid over the video. And so the History Channel was doing this. All of their stuff was just text laid on it, and then you'd swipe through their little video or whatever. And I'm like, I'm just going to narrate it for them. I'm going to narrate it for them and allow their captions to show up. And so that was another marketing tool. But that was, Jane, what we were talking about earlier. I also figured out how to take their video and then, take their music, add my voice to it,
Wow.
and just these little things. But then that's a huge marketing tool, because then I was saying to History Channel, hey, missed opportunity here, and I can
I
Yeah.
have
help
a
you fix it.
question. Do
Yeah.
you,
Wow.
when you create those, do you use those as samples or are you only specifically using them to market to those specific
Just to market to the
brands?
specific, just to the specific
Okay.
brands. Yep.
Yeah, I've
And
done that
then,
though. And
yeah.
I need to figure out how to do it faster and quicker
Yep.
because you're right. There's so many social media posts from
Oh,
brands and promo events. I've done one with for an event out here where it was exactly that. It was a dance event and it was music and captions. So captions on top of the video and then captions in the post. And I'm
mm-hmm.
like, what?
Hmm.
Why don't I just do that? And so I did that, you know, and then send it to them after the event. But I was like, this is what I do. So if
Yeah.
you need any of that, let me know.
That's
But
Yep.
awesome.
it took me forever. And since then
Yeah.
I haven't done
Streamline that,
anything.
streamline that. Figure out how to
Yeah.
streamline that process, reach out to somebody, or, I mean, depending on where you're stuck, I might be able to help you. I don't claim to, again, I just kind of get down and dirty and jump in
Yeah.
and figure it out. But it's fantastic. But then again, what the kind of thread in all this is being more is being okay with being more than a voice actor, growing in that way, but then, knowing that's still, what you want to do, um,
Being
regardless of what's
resilient.
happening over here.
Yeah.
So just growing,
Yeah.
as an artist, in all different ways.
And being open to the opportunities that come to you and
Mhm.
going
Mhm.
for it. And then also, like you said, creating the opportunities that you want and not waiting for those opportunities to come to you. Yeah, there's a whole nother conversation there that you guys like sparked up between you and Jane with like the whole like
All
online stuff. Like
day.
Like
my
a
whole
new way of marketing.
my whole body went like this. That sounds new. That sounds like that sounds scary. Ah.
You
Very.
know what's really funny about that is before this conversation, uh, and it was something I was going to comment on, but you said it, and then another conversation started right after. you're saying that it sounds scary, and you just said do it because you're
I know.
scared. Which I caught it when you said it because it's something that is constantly on my mind in regards to. I mean, and Gabby, in regards to like me doing improv, what the initial that
Yes.
initial story was, right? I was
Yes.
not going to go to that show because I didn't know anybody. You know, and then I ended up doing it, and it keeps being this. All right, well, it's scary, so I guess I'm going to do it, which is how I've gotten to like the acting thing. I don't do TikToks, and I don't like taking up space a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I have made like 40 TikToks this week
I know.
because
I
I
was
got
gonna
Look
so
at
mad
say,
at my
you.
job. I did, and they're not
Really?
even. They're not.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
go have to. I'm
they're.
gonna have to
I
go
know. Let
find
me go
your
Yeah, I
find.
gotta
Yeah,
go
TikToks.
let me
find a
It's
go.
few.
literally just me ranting incoherent thoughts. There's no production value to them, just so you know.
people
And
love that stuff though.
also like
Yeah.
I do want to say probably like 40 minutes before this call, my mom called me because she's like, "Hey, can I put on my mom hat real quick?" I'm like, "Well, that depends." Uh I was like, I can listen to what you're going to say. And she's like, I was like, is it in regards to like how I present myself on TikTok? Because I very much on TikTok this past week have been uh if you were playing with me on Xbox Live, that is how my language is.
It's
So like very
I love your TikToks. It's like almost like little journal entries,
Well,
yeah.
so
into like
where was she going with that though?
yeah.
She was frustrated that in one of maybe a couple of my TikToks I said the
Your
N-word,
mom.
and I'm just like, "Hey, I'm a black guy." She's like, "Well, your brand, da 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 da," and I was like, 95% of the people I do, 95% of the people I put myself in front of are gonna say no to me anyway, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Be
And it's
you.
your choice. It's your
you
Be
choice.
real
know,
and be you. That's
Yeah.
it.
yeah.
Be
And it's
real
your
and be you.
choice. But it's also like when you're a mom, like you can't not
I
say
no, I
what's on your
understand it.
mind. But
Yeah.
I choose to let my kids make their own choices or, but I'm
And
not going to not say something to them.
hey, I'm gonna say this because it's something I said to my mom. The idea that you have to say something is good, but also know that your kids are going to interpret it differently
Yeah,
than
it's very true.
Mm.
if
It's
There
very
are
you know.
hard when it's
consequences.
very hard as a mom that has grown children.
It's so
So when
hard.
your children are grown, I know, Lloyd, I think you're between both my son's
31.
ages. So okay. Okay, so you're a little older than Paris. But yeah, so we're always going to be a mom, no matter
Yes.
how old you guys are.
Mhm.
Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with being a mom. I don't want to make this I don't want to. I'm not
Turn
trying
this
to
into
turn it
a
into
mom
like a mom
conversation.
conversation, but the reason I said what I said to my mom was because I told her I spent a lot of time trying to figure out who I am,
Mm.
and I'm still trying to figure that out because for so long I was told who I am.
Oh,
Mm,
I like that.
I love
I do
that.
too, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally feel that.
Careful what you say to your
Which,
kids, people.
yeah.
I'm still
No,
trying
and
to figure out who I am too.
me too. And I also realized too for a long, long time that like I think part of my problem sometimes with voiceover is I always try to like step up to the mic and I'm not really maybe authentically myself every single time because I just got some feedback saying like, you know, some feedback that I didn't wasn't solicited and was really hard. And I did have to take a day yesterday not to do any auditions because like I had to have a good cry. But that's a whole other conversation. But like, I mean, I don't even know where I was going. I lost my train of thought again. Where was I going, guys? Well, I was going someplace with that. But like, I mean, sometimes where was I going, Lloyd? Where
I'm
was I?
I'm I'm not I'm trying to figure it out.
I was going somewhere. I was going.
ADHD.
Being a mom, Frida, and letting your kids do what they want. Always be a mom. Yeah, where are you going with that?
Yeah, all of that.
Be yourself.
Say to your
Well,
kids,
You're, you're growing.
this is a nice little, put a cap on it for this fantastic conversation is to say the things that you fear but you want to do anyway probably matter the most,
Yeah, I would
right?
say
Like
so.
that's like when you're like, just like Lloyd, you going, I mean, improv is probably one of the scariest things for most, or people perceive to be one of, because you're like, it should just be called unknown. Like, I literally have no idea what's going to happen.
Right.
I don't even know what I'm going to say. I don't know what they're going to say. Are they going to touch me? Are they not going to? Improv is just pure unknown. And that is where all fear stems from, right? What is that noise in the dark? What is that thing moving? It's unknown. And so, to bring it back to voiceover, do I try? I don't know. Maybe I do, maybe I do. There's this fear there, but then you do try. Then you try commercial, you try audiobooks, you try promo, you try doing a character voice. Like, there's all these unknowns, but it's putting yourself out there, doing it anyway, even if it feels scary. And I think all
And
of you are finding your path and you're taking those chances because at the end of the day, it's what you want to do.
yeah,
It's what you love.
my thought came back. It came back. It came
Hurry,
back to
go.
me. It was just about childhood and parents and all that kind of stuff where it's like when you're told not to speak or people don't want to hear what you have to say or they like, silence you. And then when you're in an industry where you need to like vocalize things and bring things to life, it's hard to get over that. But you just
Oh,
do it. You got to push through it and you just got to
yeah.
like make that choice. But I digress. Okay, so I want to do a really quickly roundtable because I promised that I would keep us on time. So without swearing,
Okay.
I need you to tell me something else that WTF means. Without swearing, what it could stand for.
WTF.
I thought I couldn't read my note at first and I thought it said like what WIT. So I was like, what's in the T? But that's not really what it was. It's WTF. I'm so dorky because my
Taking turns
handwriting's
on
horrible.
this? Are we taking turns on this?
Yes, you want to go first?
Oh,
Oh
okay. If
yeah.
you got one, go.
Washing the floors.
That's good.
I got one.
Okay.
Well then, fine.
Well then, fine.
I like these.
I love it.
I
I
love
have
it.
one. Where's the food?
Where's the
Where's
food?
the
I
food?
like that
Oh
one.
gosh. Okay, now I gotta be clever. Let's make it like improv. I gotta go fast. Yeah, I know. Water the fields.
What is a field?
At
Oh
one
my
point, I
God.
thought water the fence, and I stopped.
There you go. Water the
Did you say wash the floors?
Yeah, that's what
Wash
I
Yes.
said was wash the
floors.
floors.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I did mine I don't have one because mine was like what's in the tea and I don't even know.
Not even sort of close, and that's
I'm-
okay.
I
So
made up my own. I made up my own. Yeah, so thank you so much, Jen, for like coming and hanging out and like having
Wait,
this conversation. Oh, what? What are you gonna say?
can I do around the world question?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I
Okay,
love it.
Jen, you posted something the other day about, these little notebooks that you found at
oh
your local
yeah,
festival.
I saw
And there
that.
was four of them. The first one was my little book of people I don't like. The second book was my list of people to punch in the face. The third book was things that annoy the shit out of me.
I love
And
it.
number four was shit I need to overthink at 2 a.m. So there's too many of there. So I'm gonna choose if everybody can say one thing that annoys the shit out of them, I think that's
Ooh.
safe. I'll start. People who drive under the speed limit.
Under the speed limit. You
That
should
drives the shit out of me.
move to Florida. No, nobody drives
I want to
good at
follow that
all.
up with a driving related one. People who change lanes without using their turn signals.
That's a
Punch in the
good one.
face.
Yeah.
That's a
Ugh,
good one.
Yeah.
it drives me crazy.
I have
Same.
one. Can I go? Can I go? Because I actually
Go.
I didn't participate
Go.
last time and I failed.
Go, go.
Okay, so what really annoys me is listening to commercials where people literally record themselves on their cell phone and they sound like they're in a tin can or in a bathroom or like maybe like a giant air tunnel. And it's like
And you
that
hear their
doesn't,
pops and clicks.
yes. And you know that it's like, or they're like in the middle of a showroom, and it's like their whole advertisement. I can't stand it. I mean, I'm not trying to be like uppity about voiceover, but like, create a budget. Hire someone who knows what they're doing. You know, like
Literally call me.
delegate it, right? Like find someone that knows what they're doing and pay them to do it. Like you were talking about, Jen, you know, like there's people that do those things. Anyways.
For real.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Gabby.
Gabriella, what drives the shit out of you?
Oh gosh. I had it and then oh yeah, people who say I can't all the time. Like they don't know how to do anything. They can't do it. They
Ooh.
don't find the answer. Like they don't even try.
Yeah.
Just
I
drives me
think
crazy.
Mine will just come straight out of just what I talked about earlier and how I feel is people telling me how I should do my job. That drives the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Go mind your business. Thanks.
You're not telling them how to
WTF.
do their job. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Guys, I've
All
had
right,
a
cool.
fantastic time. It was
Yeah.
so
Thank you so
good
much.
talking and
Thank
just
you
shoot
so
from
much
the
for
hip.
talking.
This was fun. Good energy. I'm glad to connect with all of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yay.
And talking
Thank
about
you.
some of the things that you do, like your show for Lowe's, or if they want to connect to you, like for voiceover, and you are
Yeah.
1/3 of the VO Booth Besties. So
Yeah.
like, yeah.
LinkedIn is my happy place. Lloyd, I'm with you. I'm on TikTok, but I'm just for me, I'm not creating content. That's where I just scroll. So I went and followed you, so I'll go and check out your content. But yeah, find me. I'm on Instagram, Mama Greenfield. I'm on LinkedIn, and yeah, I'm on TikTok, but it's mostly just songs I've recorded. But anyway, so anyway, and yeah, and join the VO Booth Besties Facebook group if you haven't. We've got a great podcast there as well,
Yeah.
and just a great community. But yeah, I hope your listeners connect. Come find me, and I'm just glad to connect with all of
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
so
Thanks,
much,
Thank
Jen.
Jen.
you.
It's good to see
Have a
you.
great rest of the weekend.
You too.
You
Thank you. Thank you.
too.
Bye.
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 Bye.